All right, this is One Last Midnight. Welcome back to another episode of Astroneer. And yesterday was a huge day. The Wanderers update came out, and it was pretty exciting. So let's go ahead and talk about the patch notes. So one of the first things that they cover in the patch notes is that, look, this update came out only 3 weeks after the last update, which was the exploration update. So, you know, it's nice to see that Astroneer is moving up their production schedule. And with the release of the roadmap video that came out several days ago, we're seeing that we're going to be getting updates on a monthly basis, and they look to be pretty beefy. The Wanderers update is all about adventure. And so you've gotten a few things inside of the Wanderers update that allows you to go on this great and grand adventure. Let's look at the new items. There are 5 major items that came out in the Wanderers update. There's the scanner, the figurine platform, the holographic figurine, large curved platform, and an extra large curved platform. All of these items are going to cost you 25,000 bytes to unlock, and they require various resources to build. We'll look at these items more in depth in other videos. Another big thing that came out in the Wanderers update is the new suit and several new pallets. There's actually a new pallet for each planet when you unlock that specific Wanderers item that you get when you're wandering around. I know, it sounded weird, but okay. And here's the interesting thing. So back in May, I put out a video with a big giant question mark of new suit. They had inadvertently left a video inside of the directory of Astroneer that showed the Wanderers update suit. And so go back and check. I'll leave a link in the description below, but there is definitely a video that I posted 5 months ago that showed the new Wanderers suit. The small camera that you can build now has 2 additional filters that allow you to apply them after you take the picture. You have a black and white mode, and you have kind of a bluish filter mode. Just another way to give you kind of some cool details to your picture if you don't want this generic vanilla colored picture, which I thought was kind of neat. This is probably something that they can easily expand out and give us many additional filters, which should be cool to see in the future. One thing I would really like about the camera is a wide angle camera mode. Instead of having a square picture, I'd love to see it have a wide field of view picture, give us some more of a rectangular picture. And even possibly changing the orientation of the camera would be great as well. From a portrait mode into more of a landscape mode. There are several quality of life updates that happened in this release. The boost mod will now affect the narrow and the wide mod regardless of how they're equipped or where they're positioned. And I honestly didn't realize it didn't work in specific positions. I have always put mine in one set of positions. So I guess, that was always the working way. Any combinations of augments can now be equipped simultaneously. Beforehand, when you would equip some augments, they would be turned off. And now they're all turned on when you put them on your terrain tool. They've increased the number of beacon colors from 6 to 10. Now, that's kind of interesting. I wonder if this is prepping for the dedicated servers, because when we go into dedicated servers, everybody needs to have an individual color. And so typically the beacon started off at 4 colors, and as players came in, they were assigned a color that correlated with the beacons. I wonder if 10 is going to be the magic number for the dedicated servers. Fireworks will now fire without delay from the auxiliary slots and the reactive sockets. Now, I think this has to do with that the fireworks have always had a delay, but now if you put them on top of like the hoops and stuff, that they automatically fire off. It's a nice little addition to have those rockets immediately launch when you hit your alternate keys though. And the T1 platforms now have oxygen rails. And to be honest with you, I didn't realize that they didn't have oxygen rails. So a couple of other issues that they have fixed. They have community identified issues, and the tether placing is now significantly better. Beforehand, the tethers would be placed a little bit askew, and now they seem to fall off correctly and are placed on the ground correctly. The same things with the glow sticks and the last extenders that seem to be resolved as well. The soil centrifuge is no longer getting stuck, which is great because that's unfortunate. So hopefully the problems with the soil centrifuge have been resolved, and we can move forward with the soil centrifuge not getting locked up or not having to package it to get items released. The rest are just general related defect fixes that they fixed. Orientation of packaged items are now maintained the correct place when you put them on the platform. The last glow stick, again, is now in the correct orientation. The galactic suit now points. I didn't realize that the galactic suit didn't point, but okay. The medium printer is now able to print on the extra large A regardless of the direction it's facing. Players can no longer print on the large hoop B. I didn't even think to try that, but all right. Somebody did, obviously, and they don't want you to do it. You know, they fixed a bug where the jetpack will get stuck. I didn't experience that, but having an auto on the jetpack sounds kind of cool, actually. The large storage ring and the large platform now have the correct special effects when they're dropped and when they land or interact with the ground. The holographic orientation of the extra large arch is now correct and matches the orientation of the extra large platform when it's being printed. The large hoop platform now has the correct amount of oxygen connection points, which is great, but you know, I don't necessarily have oxygen everywhere connected to all the platforms. So, you know, that might be a little bit lost on me. Both sides of the medium storage now have mouse collision. Before they didn't. So when you would hover over them, you wouldn't get that highlight effect. The display range for stalactites have been increased a little bit. All three shredders now maintain their particle nuggets when they're flying off and stuff. The small printer no longer prints on the diagonal tall platform slots. I didn't even think to try any of these crazy things. This is cool though, I guess. All platform cables now disconnect when they're out of range, and the printer is disabled when you put it on the recreational canopy. I again, with those hoops and the canopies and those platforms and stuff, you know, I don't know why you would want to stick the printer on there, but okay, they don't want you to print on it. That's the ultimate message here. They did wind up fixing some multiplayer issues. So now the clients have their own backpack sound effects inside of multiplayer. And there was, I guess, an issue with the dropship not bringing people to the correct location. Now it does. So the dropship and the shelters will now bring you to the appropriate location when you die in a multiplayer game. Unfortunately, there is no updates for addressing any of the multiplayer lag problems that still persist with the host. Hopefully that'll be resolved with dedicated servers. Obviously, it's going to be resolved with dedicated servers, but I'm hoping that they're going to give some attention to this co-op mode that they have built in the game already, instead of forcing us to go to a dedicated server. I really would like to have either the option to run my own dedicated server, or better yet, let's tweak and fix some of this code inside of the game that already provides us or gives us the ability to host a multiplayer session. The other big news, and they had it out in a live stream and I did a little summary video, was the entire 2019 roadmap. And so that's interesting. And if you want to see that, go watch that video. They talk about the things that are coming out next month, which is October, and they call it Spooktober, the creative update in November, and the other things that are coming out in November, like dedicated servers. And then the big question, the unknown, in December. Now we are coming up to the 2-year anniversary of Astroneer. So hopefully we see something huge come out with the 2-year anniversary. That would be really, really cool. I'd like to see some sort of limited event happen in October, November, and December, since they're holiday months. We'll see what happens. Well, that's about it. And I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you so much. Hit that like button if you liked the video. If you're not a member of the community, please think about joining the community. We have a great group of people here. And if you want to follow me on any of my social media, you can find the links in the description below. Hey, remember to hit that bell so you can see when I post videos. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.